You smell what I smell? That's some pure bullshit.
What's up, motivators? Welcome back. It's Kevin. This is Pure Bullfit. No jokes at the start. This is a serious conversation. So I had no intention of making this video. Folks kept turning me towards a particular series of videos that Mark Bell is putting out on one of his various YouTube channels with some information and some statements that I just don't feel like can wait. I'm in the middle of filming College-Educated Clowns, a video that's going to come out in the next 24 hours. So this was not intended. This is a little bit off the cuff. It's a little bit freeform, and you guys are going to see that. But I think some of the information that is currently being communicated by one of the industry's largest, most recognizable figures absolutely has to be addressed. Now, I don't want anybody to get this twisted. I like Mark. This is not a roast. This is not how I would treat V-Shreds. This is not how I would treat Tyrone or any of the other people that I legitimately do not have any respect for. I think Mark, while we disagree on a number of things, philosophically speaking, has done some great things for fitness in general. He's inspired a lot of people. And most importantly, in my book, he was instrumental in Brian Alsruh getting his health back. Brian from NeverSay.com is a strongman competitor, former counterterrorism operative, really great guy from everything that I can tell, and has been suffering for the last 10 years from a parasitic infection that could have killed him had Mark Bell not got Brian in touch with a specialist who is now getting him treated and possibly, quite possibly, saved his damn life. So I have a lot of respect for Mark and the great impact that he's had, but some of the shit that is coming out of his mouth right now is absolutely incorrect, is going to mislead people, possibly hurt people, and I feel like, dude, Mark, you got to do better, man. This isn't like this isn't a case where I'm sitting here and I'm pulling my punches because I'm afraid of Mark. I'm actually just hoping that you hear me and correct course before you get too deep into your carnivore month of carnivore challenge. All right. So there's a couple of things that are being said that are just flat out not correct, not supported by science, and are going to mislead folks. I'm going to get to the most important one first, so you guys don't have to sit through my entire video. But Mark has this to say on the subject of consuming protein.
From there. So when you make a decision to eat protein, it's the most satiating of all the different macronutrients that we're able to consume. It's going to fill you up. It's going to also help build some muscle mass, and it also doesn't count as a calorie. The fact that it was ever counted as a calorie is, in my opinion, a mistake. You have two forms of energy in your body. One is a carbohydrate, and the other is fat. Protein can be utilized as energy, but it is turned into glucose by your liver. And so I don't think protein ever needs to be anything to worry about. So in this...
No, that's not at all true. Protein has calories. It absolutely has calories, and they do count. And gluconeogenesis is not something you should vilify. It's a perfectly natural bodily process that, in the absence of readily available glucose from carbohydrates, our body repurposes amino acids or proteins, sometimes our lean tissue, to get that, because it's what the body prefers. When there's a sufficient amino acids in a high protein diet like carnivore, you're going to enter a state of gluconeogenesis all the time. You're going to oscillate back and forth between ketosis and gluconeogenesis, producing ketone bodies, as all low carbohydrate diets do. If you want to argue with me in the comment section about whether or not carnivore diet is ketogenic, you should probably look up what ketosis is first and then come back. But feel free to have that out with me in the comment section. The difference between typical ketogenic diet and a carnivore diet is you're supposed to abstain from vegetables and fruits and anything that's not made of the animal. Now, can you survive? Can you get all the vital nutrients that you need to survive simply eating animal products? Technically, yes. I don't think it's a great way to go about it. So Mark and I disagree on that particular point, but that's irrelevant to this conversation. We're talking about not even understanding how your own diet protocol works, telling everybody out there, like this video right here suggests, that everybody should follow it, and then presenting them incomplete or incorrect information on the damn eating protocol that you're suggesting everybody follow. He also goes on to say,
is my mother-in-law, who has been diabetic for years now. During day number 3 of World Carnivore Month for her, she had the lowest reading with her blood sugar in 5 years. In 5 years, that's nothing just to shrug off. To me, that is kind of proof that meat heals.
But
that should give you guys some motivation. Some of you out there that may be sick and may have some trouble, any ailments that you have can be reversed in a very, very short period of time. 3 days? That sounds absolutely ridiculous to me.
Are there people out there that can benefit from a low carbohydrate diet? Yes. His mother-in-law, who he's mentioned several times, has the lowest resting glucose rates that she's had in 5 years. That is a natural consequence of not consuming carbohydrates. If you don't consume carbs, you have lower glucose levels available because your body uses them up. That's just how it works, and it's not the healing properties of meat. It's just not eating carbohydrates. You could get there through eating foods other than meat that aren't carbohydrate rich. It is a great way for those people to deal with that specific condition, having difficulty with their insulin levels or with their blood sugar levels. But it does not in any way, and this is the most troubling statement, heal all manner of ailments in a couple of days. That statement doesn't get any more context. There's no resources listed. As you can see here, there's nothing in his description field where you can find more information about why this would cure all manner of ailments. That is some televangelist level, give me your seed of faith bullshit that needs to be clarified. If you're going to be a responsible content creator, you've got to provide information like that, because folks are going to take you at your word. You've been around a long time. You've helped a lot of people. You can't just put information so incomplete, so incorrect, and so misleading out there and just expect it to go without consequence or be okay. You have to do better. I am begging you. I'm not trying to run you shit. I am telling you that the way that you have presented this thus far is irresponsible and potentially dangerous for people who do not bother to look past the things you say. A purely meat-based diet will not cure all manner of ailments in a couple of days. It does not have healing properties that are independent of any other eating protocol that is going to help you manage your diabetes better. The fact that it is low carbohydrate is what is helping his mother-in-law. You have to be so much more responsible with the information that you present, especially if you're going to challenge everybody to do it with you. Look, guys, it's like I said at the beginning of the video, I legitimately like Mark Bell. I think that he's got some valuable things he's added to the community and still has the potential to add. Yeah, and I know you guys have been pointing out that he seems to be speaking a little bit slower, a little bit more lethargic, and having a little bit more difficulty concentrating, but that is a natural consequence. I'm not worried about this. When you go high carbohydrate to low carbohydrate, your brain has less glucose for a little while until it starts producing ketone bodies, and when that takes over, all of that stuff goes away, generally speaking. It's not a real concern. A real concern is telling people that they don't have to count an entire macronutrient towards their calories and that they shouldn't to boot. Without any additional information about whatever concept or new way to approach your eating protocol or how to count calories, without any access to that information of what you're thinking, people are just going to do that. And in a society where 7 out of 10 of us are outside the healthy range already, telling folks to ignore or not count an entire macronutrient is going to lead to overeating. It is going to lead to a whole lot of people dirty bulking, and it does have a consequence. You don't have to worry about protein poisoning because you're getting a lot of fat in with a carnivore diet. However, that excess protein is going to turn into glucose through gluconeogenesis because your body wants it. It's going to prevent ketosis. You're going to produce the glucose through gluconeogenesis. You're going to have that extra glucose in your bloodstream, and anything that you don't utilize for energy is going to turn into fat. Glucose in the bloodstream turns to fat. That's where it's stored. That's what happens to it. You absolutely can overeat on protein. Look, I know what some of you are going to say. I'm not doing this for clout. I'm not doing this for subs, and I'm not doing this for attention. If I was, I'd be taking a much more aggressive route, and there are safer, bigger people to go after. This is bad, incomplete, incorrect information. And I think that Mark actually legitimately wants to help people. So I am asking you, if you've made it through this video, if you've bothered to watch it at all, provide people with the information where they can go to find the clarification. Explain the process better. Stop saying things like healing properties of meat, even if you believe it. If you're going to say it, you've got to do a lot more explaining than that. You have a huge platform that is supposed to help a lot of people, and you have benefited from that platform. The community has been good to you. Be good to them back. If you're going to challenge people to follow in your footsteps, lead them someplace constructive. For the love of God, please. I sincerely believe that at your heart, you are an absolutely good, solid person who really wants to help people. I am forever grateful for what you've done for people that I follow and admire, like Brian. I want to see you continue to do that deep into your life. I want your mother-in-law to have health, wellness, and longevity. But the information that you're giving now is incomplete, and it could stand to actually hurt and mislead people. Please do better in the future. Please provide people with the resources to go find out more information if you don't know it or you don't have that information. And if you're going to say deeply controversial things like proteins shouldn't count towards your caloric intake, gluconeogenesis is bad, or that you can heal all manner of ailments in just a couple of days through the healing properties of meat, you have got to provide more context. You have got to provide information or links or direct us to the people who can clarify those statements. I know that you're not afraid of relying on experts outside of yourself because you have people in your workout channel all the time coming in and sharing their good information to the benefit of us all. I'm just asking you to do the same thing with this 30-day challenge and with any other content on diet protocols that you intend to put out in the future. All right, guys, that's it. That's the video for today. If you liked it, let me know by hitting that like button. If you didn't like it, they got a button for that too. I would just ask, you have a better reason than I said something kind of bad about Mark Bell? Let me know about it in the comments section below. Until I see you guys in the next video, take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and go fit yourself.